Let's go.
Okay. Are we ready? Hey, it's Kevin Raymond and Amma Primicino, and we're here once again today with our Life Unlocked. And today we want to talk about, where you're at and how you're feeling about yourself and where you want to be. And if you feel comfortable where you're at right now, or you want to make a couple of changes and you want to do something different and you want to actually be inspired to be a better person than you are and do better than you're doing. And if you're not, why are you not? And how do you go about doing that? Like, what are some of the things that you can do to reach those goals and to kind of reframe your life so that you're actually achieving the goals and successes that you want to achieve? How are you today, Emma?
I'm good, Kevin, but it doesn't seem fair you don't explain where you are with that background before we explore where
Oh,
we
this?
are and our goals. So why don't you tell everyone?
Oh, these little things, these palm trees that are usually grown in very warm places. I am presently in Palm Springs, which is an absolutely incredible place, and it is in California, just about 2 hours from Los Angeles. I'm just turning around so that you can
Oh
see
my God, it
the
looks
back.
amazing.
Yeah,
What,
it
what
is
are you
like it
doing there?
really is. Absolutely nothing. No. I'm working remotely, and because I'm able to do that, and well, you are as well, coaching. Like, my things are online, and actually I've connected with quite a few people here because they're followers of mine, and so I've been meeting some new people, which is kind of exciting, and I'm hoping to get out next week and get some pictures and do some posts with them because it'll be kind of fun. But I've probably been to Palm Springs about 5 times, and Palm Springs is definitely one of my go-to destinations for when I'm retired or want to, it's kind of settle down. But right now, my partner and I travel pretty often, and then we will go to various places because we work remotely. Actually, he just retired, so he's not going to be working for a while. He'll eventually get something else, but at the present moment, he's going to relax and kind of regroup. Um, but we've been traveling like throughout the world, actually, just looking for really good places to work, and that's what we've been doing for the last few years. And then kind of also looking at the same time for the place that we'd like to purchase an additional property to spend half a year or a few months a year, usually around the winter time. In Montreal, winters are disgusting, so this is our alternative, right? But right now we're just in the process of looking because we still want to travel, and there's no point in buying a place somewhere if you're still going to travel all over the place, because you may find another one you like, right? But I really think it's hard to believe that we find someone better than Palm Springs, because it's just such a perfect spot for it. Covers all the bases, has all the things you need, and is really just like the most chill place on earth right now. It's just crazy. So
Well,
loving it.
it looks
As you can see, like,
absolutely
this is,
stunning. It's so beautiful. Almost the backdrop
yeah, it
looks
is.
fake. It looks like one of these
I
fake
know, right?
backgrounds that you can create. So let's dive
It's one of
in.
those places.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. I was just going to say, it's one of those places that everywhere you look is a picture, right? Which is pretty cool.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Take loads of
So, okay.
selfies while you're there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I will be walking around just a little bit to kind of get out of the way of people, because there's a bit of a tour thing going on. Um, so I'm going to sit somewhere if I can find a spot. But anyway, let's get started. Go ahead and get started, and I'll
Let's get
jump
started.
in.
So you asked the question about goals, where you are right now, and maybe the gap.
Yeah.
What is the gap between where you are now and where you want to get
Yes.
to? That's a really, really good conversation for especially this time of the year, because January,
Hmm.
as we all know, is a time of year where everybody's very focused on, right, new year, new me, new results, new outcome. And then
Yeah.
maybe the intention and the actual execution, there's a gap in between that. So, what is stopping people from stepping into that next version, their potential, that next level in life? And I think it's
Hmm.
always around things like self doubt, lack of confidence, um, it takes a new version of new habits, new rituals, and they're always difficult to stick to. You know, like you told me before,
Mhm.
the gym is super packed in January. Everybody has got the right
Yes.
idea. And then it's like, it phases out. So I think I always say it's about making the desires and outcome and results that we want in our life a burning desire. Why do you want it? Get a really big why you want it.
Mhm.
Like if it's health, why do you want to lose the weight? Because it'll make you more confident,
Yeah.
make you, not focus on maybe not being happy in your physical self, but actually stepping into the
Yeah.
world and believing in your greatness. And I
Mhm.
think it's also about partnership, getting the right support, getting yourself in the right environment, following a right strategy that you can stick to. Some strategies, like people go extreme with diets, for example,
Yeah.
eliminating carbs and this and that, but it's tough to stick to it. So from where you are to where you want to get to, find a strategy that you can step onto or step into that will build
Mhm.
momentum, and as you go along, maybe increase the intensity. What do you think?
Absolutely. Like I think like you said, this is a good time of the year to do that because so many people have made commitments to themselves in, the sense of New Year's resolutions and stuff. And, this year I'm going to do this year I'm going to do that. And then I think one of the most common mistakes with that is how people go about tackling that task that they've created for themselves, because they'll do it in such a way that they're going to get frustrated and discouraged. And the biggest thing is, like, we use the gym as an analogy all the time, because people go, they work out, they bust their ass for like an hour at the gym, and then the next day they are so sore they can't even, sit down or walk or get up or whatever. So the thing you have to remember, like, you go to the gym today and you go home, do you look any different? No. You go to the gym tomorrow, you go home, do you look any different? No. You do that for like 6 weeks, and then you start seeing changes. So then you start seeing the difference. Then you see that, oh wow, I've lost 2 pounds. Oh wow, I've done this. Or I feel stronger, I have more energy, those types of things. So the whole thing that I'm getting at with this is that in order for you to be successful at changing your life and achieving the goals that you want to achieve, is doing it incrementally. So break things down so that you see goals happening. Like if you've never been to the gym, like say, even if you've been to the gym and you haven't gone for years and you decided to start going again, why don't you try the couple weeks before you start going to the gym, just going for a walk, try walking, like try doing 10,000 steps a day for 5 days. It doesn't sound like a lot,
Hmm.
but it is. Like for some people that, it's almost 2, 3 kilometers. So you have to do that. Like you have to do it in increments so that you're constantly being rewarded and getting that little bit of dopamine that says like, oh, I've been successful. I've done this. This is great, because that's what it's all about. Like, and then as you progress, it's like, then you start lifting weights, for example, and you start doing a bench press, and your first thing is like, you put 10 pounds on each side of the bar. And then, after 6 months, you're putting 45 pounds on each side of the bar, right? And doing the same amount of reps. Like the whole thing is building momentum. Just like, you don't leave school and have your perfect career. You build it. You build it through experience, through trial and error and failure. And you keep going and learning and growing. And that's how it works. Like that's how you get to the point you want it to be, right? But you have to have a roadmap, and that roadmap is called goal setting and planning,
Yeah.
right? So set some goals and then plan how you're going to reach them. That way, when you do have that moment that you're like, you know what, today I can do 45 pounds, and you do it and you mess up and you say you pull your arm or back or something like that, because you have a plan, because you have a goal, you can very easily get back on track, take care of the injury, get back on track, jump back on the horse, get going, right? Without a plan, it's like you're not going to go back. You're not going to do it, right?
I think it's one thing having plans, and people make plans also with the best intentions. I'm speaking to you for as a
Yeah.
as a woman, there many women that I've coached, they've got their plan, they know what to do, but somehow they don't do it. And and I've been guilty of that as well. But the thing that's made a difference for me when I'm serious, when I've got a burning desire to lose weight for something, for example, sticking to the fitness and gym aspect,
Is
I've
that like
taken
that six pack you said you'd have by now?
it's
Is
coming. Don't worry.
that
Don't
one?
worry. It's coming. I've taken on a coach. I've taken on a coach because I know I'm not going to cancel on a coach. We're more likely to do
Yeah.
something for somebody else, with somebody else, through somebody else than we would do it for ourselves. So you can have your plan on the side of you, but if it wasn't for my coach, I might skip some of my classes. If it wasn't for the fact that
Yeah.
I'm being measured or it's been a bit scientific, the results is not just I'm on a journey with my plan, but like every week there's a target, so having
Yeah.
targets, having someone to keep you accountable. And also, let's face it, fitness sometimes alone can be a bit boring, but having a coach next to you, maybe especially a really good coach. My coach is excellent. He brings the best music. He's always got the greatest energy. You
Yeah.
never know if he's having a bad day or whatever. He's so like attentive and focused. Like I'm the only person he's going to coach that day. And I just love it, Kevin. I just really love it. And I see myself being able to push myself beyond what my own voice will tell me when I'm doing it by myself. Like I might decide to run 20 minutes, but on my own, I might decide, oh, I'm done. 12 minutes is not bad. And call it a day. With my coach next to me, I guarantee I'll do that 20 minutes. So I think
That's true. Yeah.
this is always great, having support and having somebody who's pushing you, because somebody else will push you further than you would push yourself. Don't you agree?
For sure. Oh, absolutely. And I think that's it. What's that phrase? Like you have to have skin in the game, right? So you have to have something in it to win it, right? So that's why, there's tons of free courses on the internet. Like you could probably do whatever job you ever wanted to do just from training on YouTube videos. But nobody does that because they're free. So there's no, like, there's really nothing in it for you, even though it would probably change your life, right? But you don't do it because there's really no investment for you to do it. It's like, nah, it's not costing me. I'll do it next week. I'll do it later, whatever, right? Like I know before, a few years back, I loved riding my bike. Like I used to ride my bike forever. And I wanted to do this trip, and it was from Toronto to Montreal. So that's about the 6 hour drive in a car. So it's a 5 day bike ride, right? So I wanted to do that, and it was for a fundraiser. And so I decided, like, I had read about it, and I decided to do it. And I was just quick to jump the gun, and I bought a bike, and I started riding my bike around town for hours at a time, right? And then I realized, like, this is boring as hell. Like, why am I doing this, right? But then I realized, like, there's a whole group of people training to do the same ride, right? And then I connected with them, and then of course that was just that was the encouragement you needed, and then it became a fun experience, right? And then then at the time, like, so the whole program ended up, because it was a fundraiser, and they did really well. They raised like millions of dollars, and you had to get, like, in order to qualify, you had to have $4,000 worth of sponsors yourself, right?
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so you do that, but then once you get going, and the event actually starts, it starts in Toronto and you end up in Montreal. There's, you end up kind of finding your group. And I'm slightly competitive. So I was with this group so every day, like you had to do it. You did about 100 kilometers, 120 kilometers a day. Right. And then there was this
That's
group
crazy.
who
How many hours a
yeah,
day then?
well, you have up to 8 hours to do it. But the group that I was in, we would do it like in 4.5 hours. So you just like pedaled your crap out. And then one time I did get a flat tire because I broke a spoke, and then I had to go and get it repaired and everything. So it set me back. But it was a challenge, right? And it was fun. And it was always like, you were like, you set yourself up for destruction because you do it a couple of times, but then if you don't do it, everybody's like loser, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're still like, so you had to do it every day once you started it, but it was motivating, right? And that's the whole thing. Like you have to skin in the game is what I'm getting at, is that you have to put something into it. So like when people are offering you free stuff and free programs and things like that, there should be something that you have to give to get. Like I used to do free programs, like online for people to join. like webinars and things like that. And the only thing, like I didn't want to charge for it, but also nobody goes if it's free, right? Like you get 2 or 3 people show up. But then I would say, like, to qualify, you had to make a donation of at least $25 to your favorite charity and send me the receipt, right? And then more people signed up and you had more people doing it, right? So because you have to have something in there, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. Like you say, like you have to have something to help you motivate. So that's why, that's what a coach is. A coach is an accountability person. So they give you things that you have to be accountable for. Like on a weekly basis, you're meeting with your clients, and at the end of the week, the beginning of the conversation, you're talking about how they achieved the goals that you set for them the week before, and if they didn't, why they didn't, what was the roadblock to it, and then resolve those issues, and then send them off with another set of accountability tasks, right? To come back the next week and say that you've done that. And what I do with mine, like normally my clients, like I'll give them the accountability, and then maybe 2 days before our call, I'll send them a reminder with a little recap of what it is that they're doing. And then I'll send them a little questionnaire, like, what did you accomplish this week, that they have to send back to me. And then that gives me an opportunity to prep, to know that they didn't do it. So one of two things happens because of that. One, they think like, oh, okay, I'm just going to wait till I talk to Kevin and then go over this stuff that I didn't do. Or that's bullshit. I'm going to finish this so that when Kevin calls me and thinks I didn't do it, I'm already done and I can explain to him that I got it done. Right. So those are the two things that generally happen because of that. Right. So it's pretty handy. I like using it because it works most times,
Yeah.
one way or the other. Right. So
Um,
it's all about it. It is about accountability.
as you say that, I remember a few years ago, my husband and I joined a park run. They do it all around London.
Oh, yeah.
We wanted to be serious
Yeah.
about at least jogging. It's only 5K once a week on a Saturday morning. And you sign up online and you turn up at the park at a particular time. And there's a whole group of people. But what I loved was that it was a mixed group of all ages. And I was particularly drawn to the 80 plus people who were making this 5K run. And it made me feel like, come on, Amma, that guy is 85.
I know. Exactly, right?
He
I
can't
know.
finish before me. You talking about being competitive, but yeah, it just motivated me to bring out, to bring out the best in me. But I also find that when you're doing something boring like that, you say it gets boring. I have a set of headphones that I listen to my favorite podcasts or music or something. There's so much power in plugging into something motivational, inspirational while you're doing something. While you're doing an activity like sports, jogging, running, walking, that it's a great time to catch up on some wonderful podcasts that, will keep you company along the way.
Yeah.
And yes, of course, I mean, there's so much space for coaching. I heard that Oprah Winfrey has 4 coaches at any given time in her life. She's already at top of her game. She's already one of the most wealthiest women on the planet, but she has space to employ 4 coaches at a time. So there's obviously definitely something in coaching, because we all have blind spots. We all have blocks. We all have certain things pushing us back and resistance. And sometimes you need an outside person to reflect those things to you and maybe give you a different perspective to be able to shift and maneuver around those blocks and limiting beliefs that can come up. And also sometimes we forget, Kevin, we forget, like, why is this important to me? So you need somebody to remind you again that, remember, you said you want to leave a legacy, or, you want to, like, obviously the coaches, part of their onboarding is for you to share your compelling reason why you want something. And that's very clear to all of us in January, right? But come February, March, April, May, it's like, I don't really want this anyway.
I know. It is funny how you can so quickly fall back into your old habits, right?
Yes,
like,
yes.
I think one of the advantages again about coaching is that you have the opportunity to be exposed to different methodologies to help you achieve the goals, like things that you don't think of, right? It's just like, a lot of people can sit there at their desk and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but they don't really have, they don't have the wherewithal to like search out those tools, but then that's a different thing. Like that's a totally different process than having somebody walk you through the process of doing things that are going to change your life, right? And that's what coaching can do for you, right? Like it's just such an amazing process. And you know, I go back quite often to the first time that I ever experienced coaching, and how incredibly motivating it was, like to feel like you wanted to show that person that you were capable of doing it, you know, that you were able to reach that level of success that you asked them to help you with, right? And it's really important, and I think that's one of the biggest things about having a coach, and having the right coach, right? Going through the process of finding a coach is like finding a doctor, you know, like there's lots of doctors out there that what's the point of going, because they don't do anything. Or you know, you have a doctor that you ask for a prescription, they give it to you. They don't even ask you why you need it, right?
What's wrong with you?
um so, yeah, it's just like, you know, I think I need this, and then they write your prescription. Okay, I'm not a
Kevin,
doctor,
your
but
thumb is
thanks.
blocking the camera just there. There, that's
Oh,
it.
is it?
Yeah, that's
Uh,
it now. Yeah.
that's so weird. Okay, I don't
But
know how that
also,
works, because I'm looking at.
you're
Go
looking at
ahead.
me. Also, with coaching, um, sometimes there's stuff within people that they want to share, but they don't want to be judged by their friends or family, or they feel like they
Yeah,
won't understand.
yeah,
And it's so nice to
for sure.
have somebody that can hold space for you to explore that part of you, and for you to be
Uh,
vulnerable and um, share all your thoughts and limitations and dreams and plans
yeah,
in a safe space, because there's not everything that we can share with our immediate support network, as supportive and loving as they are. Sometimes we want to
yeah.
keep some things for us, you know, and it's great to open up to a coach that can
It's also
support
just
you
the
through it.
fact, yeah, because they like the people that you're with always, they don't always have the answers either, right? Like and they don't, maybe they just don't understand. Like I mean, if you look at coaching itself, and you're with somebody who's not familiar with coaching, they don't understand what it's all about and how it works. So you need to talk to somebody that's familiar with it, so that you need to talk to somebody that's in the same headspace you're in, to get a better answer and a better understanding of where you can go, and what the potential of it is, right? So that's a big important thing too,
And
right?
what I really appreciate about my coach is that I can take anything to her. Um,
Hmm.
and I've learned to be a trusted advisor for my clients
Hmm.
in the way that
No.
there's no vested interest for me. My interest is only for them to shine, it's only for them to find fulfillment,
Yeah.
happiness. And they know that I'm coming on board from a place where the advice I'm giving is completely based on their needs and wants. There's no result out, there's no
Yeah.
like selfish reasons for me. Like if you tell a best friend, hey, I want to be on stage, she might think, oh, I don't, I'm not going to advise you to go on stage because you're going to outshine or
Yeah.
grow or go beyond our community,
Yeah.
or something. So, you know, it's important to have somebody that can support
Hmm.
and hold space for how big
That's
the
a
goals and dreams are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point too, because again, that goes, you know, I think part of um the challenge for people who want to make those types of changes in their lives is losing some of those people in their lives, right? Is because some of those people can't go along with you for that journey that you're going to take. And I think that's what causes a lot of people not to go after what they want, because they're afraid of losing that comfort zone and being in that place where they know everything, and they're, you know, that's where they do best, what they feel they do best. But it's when, you know, you want to make that step beyond that, where you know, you quickly find out, like, I can't hold on to these people anymore, because they're just not in the same place I'm at, and we don't have the same interests. And it's just, you know, again, um you know, just like a simple analogy is to say, like, you know, if you're not a smoker, and you hang around with everybody, like you hang around with 10 people that smoke, eventually you'll probably smoke, right?
You go
and
back to
and
it.
because
Yeah.
you're picking it, right? And then if you hang around, if you're broke and you're hanging around with people who make a lot of money, eventually you'll learn how to make money, right?
Mm.
So it's the way you think, that being with the right people helps you think the right way, the better way, to think for yourself, like no negative self-talk, like, not putting yourself down, which is probably, I'd say, like 80% of what people struggle with most is the first person they criticize is themselves, right?
Yeah.
And getting over that is a big thing. It's a big process. You have to do a lot of, searching, soul searching, going back in your past to places you probably don't want to go. But
Mm.
that's where it all is. That's where all of your shit is, right? So you have to go and clean that shit out. Like you literally have to go and shovel it out and get rid of it, right? So that you can have the life you want. Because those are the things that are holding you back. Those are the things that are stopping you from being who you want to be, right? They have
Definitely.
so much power over you. You have no idea how strong it is, right? And I think a lot of people understand the concept of it, but I don't think they ever go back far enough to get to the root cause of. And I think one of the things that I learned most about that was I did this thing called neurolinguistic programming, and it's the whole process of doing that, like going back and dealing with limiting beliefs and things that falsehoods that you believe about yourself, and how you go about doing that and finding the core cause of what's happened to you and why you have carried that with you all of your life. And people do without realizing that they've carried that stuff with them their entire lives, and it
Yeah.
and it affects them in everything they do. And you can change at any time. Like you don't have to be 25. You can be my age, 63, and still make
Not yet.
changes, right? So in just a few weeks.
In just a few weeks.
So
Yeah,
I
of
know.
course. We become an average of who we surround ourselves with. You become an average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as we grow, in our childhood, tend to have a massive circle of friends, network of people that we surround ourselves with. But the higher you go,
Mhm.
also that's why they say success and entrepreneurship can be lonely, because the higher you go, the less
Yeah.
people
The
you have
lesser.
around you, because the level of clarity, focus, lack of distraction, boundaries, by the time you understand
Mhm.
your mission, your purpose, what you want to achieve, it narrows down to some core individuals who are going to help
Yeah.
truly elevate you and get you to the next level. Plus, of course, time becomes the most richest commodity that we have, right? You can't get that back. And so you
Yes.
become very conscious
Yeah.
about how you're spending your time, who you're spending your time with,
Mhm.
what you're engaged, the kind of conversations you're engaging. And then when you become more self-aware, also, you're able to focus on, is this conversation nourishing me or depleting me? So
Yeah.
it's quite normal that the higher you go, the lonelier you'll become, but you have to push through it.
Yeah.
You have to stay focused on what it is that you want.
Absolutely.
It's either that, there's two pains: the pain of losing certain people that don't serve you anymore, or the pain of
Yeah.
regret of not going for your goals and dreams. And I think nobody ever
Exactly.
losing people who didn't nourish them. But, in the last hour of life, it will be the pain of regret of not living up to your potential and
Exactly.
living up to your goals and dreams that will be the most difficult.
Yeah.
It's not easy, Kevin. It's not easy for even us as coaches,
Mm-mm.
but it can be done. And it can be done with just some small steps daily.
Hmm.
We used
Yeah.
to say consistent action, but now it's really daily action. You need to do
Yeah.
something every single day, whatever it is you want to achieve in your finances, in your physical health, in your relationship. There needs to be some habit and
Hmm.
rituals implemented in
Yeah.
your daily
Absolutely.
life that's getting you closer to those goals and dreams. Yeah.
Exactly.
And of
Absolutely.
course, if you need help, Kevin and I are here.
That's right. So Kevin Raymond Coaching. You can leave messages on YouTube. I'm on Instagram, Kevin_Raymond_coaching. Amma, you're the same. Amma Primicino Coaching, right? At Amma Primicino Coaching. All of our stuff is on LinkedIn or on Instagram. You can click on our link trees and hook up with us through appointments. clarity calls. That's the best way to find out what we can offer you or help you with, or if we can connect the right way. And it's free. And you can, that's your opportunity to really delve into asking the questions you have about coaching, what coaching is all about, how coaching can possibly help me, those types of things. And also, you know, what we can do for you and what we can do to help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve, get over the issues you have, struggling in the places that you're struggling with. So all of those things we're there to help you with, and go on. And then of course just follow us and watch all the stuff that we do, because we're constantly putting out information and helpful tips and tricks to help you get through your day and your weeks. And you know, always there to help, and always open to suggestions and comments anytime.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kevin. This has been a great conversation as always. And
Thank you.
I look forward to speaking to you some more from Palm Springs, because even your background is relaxing me.
Yeah, I know. This is like the most chill place on earth, I swear. And I'm here till like the 10th of March.
Okay. All right. So
I shouldn't laugh, but I am.
we'll see you again next
All
week.
right.
Thanks everyone for being here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Take care. Have an amazing day.
Bye for now.
Cheers.